Silence your cell phones now.
You break the rules and become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
What's going on, YouTube? It's seeing a place to be. Children, Mr. Andy. Better give you guys another movie experience here. And today we are talking about the well-anticipated movie ever since last year, ever since we've seen Loki, and that is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So this movie is the sequel to Doctor Strange, and obviously a sequel to everything that's been happening because we got a fracture into the multiverse, right? And then we are introduced to a character named America Chavez, who is somebody who could travel through the multiverse. And Doctor Strange falls into Doctor Strange's universe, and he tries to help her be able to control going through these multiverses. And it's a whole kind of thrill ride that is happening. And this thing is directed by Sam Raimi. We all know who Sam Raimi is, especially if you're a Raimi here, you know, is known for a lot of horror movies, The Evil Dead, Drag Me to Hell, and the Very Powerful Eyes, and of course the Spider-Man movie. So seeing Sam Raimi come here and get a project like this is something that's really, really exciting. So I was excited for the movie, and yes, I wanted to say my expectation was high due to it being the Multiverse of Madness. So, but there were a couple things in the way I was talking about. So I'm gonna give you guys the good, I'm gonna give you guys the bad, and I'm gonna give you guys the experience. And I'm gonna start off with the good. Okay, so right off the background, the good, Sam Raimi's thing in here. People are calling this Marvel's first horror movie. It has a lot of the horror elements into it, and that's one thing I liked about it, because when you're doing something like this, the Multiverse of Madness, you're really going to get some kind of, you know, thrill ride, especially when you're dealing with Sam Raimi. And I like the way that there's certain just horror things that he puts in here, and imagery and jump scares, stuff like that he puts in there. That I like, this really works with the kind of movie that they're presenting here, especially with the Doctor Strange. And I was wondering how much it's going to do it. I was just like, yeah, this can be. If you don't know anything about Marvel or jump shit, you just walk into this movie, you will automatically think you're watching a horror movie. I like how that comes out. It doesn't mean it's necessarily scary. It doesn't mean it's going to be like, ah. I mean, it may be for like little small kids. It may be a couple more jump scares like that for them. But obviously, I think Sam Raimi did a wonderful job of doing this, and it made me really enjoy his version of the movie. Then we go into Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is still playing Stephen Strange, and I like Stephen Strange in this one. Obviously, he's stealing from the fallout of Infinity War and Endgame, and then also he's being there, and also the fallout from Spider-Man, also because a lot of stuff has been happening, and the way he has to play. It was, you guys see in the trailer, he has played multiple versions. So I was like, you know what? He did a pretty decent job in there as well. Then we're introduced to the Scarlet Witch, Wanda, in this movie. Not introduced because we've seen her, she's been here before. And I think this is the best Elizabeth Olsen has played in the part. I really think I got to give her the credit where credit is due. I think this is the best acting job she has done as Wanda Maximoff in these Marvel movies. I think, you know, where she brings a lot to the table, which comes to the emotion and just the anger and the hurt. Like at times you can really feel her pain. And I'm like, okay, you know, I like that about the movie. And once again, the imagery is great. You know, the Sam Raimi stuff is imagery, like the horror elements is great. And then, you know, the imagery is great, you know, especially when it comes to, I think the best scenes that I like is when they are traveling through the multiverse. When they showed the trailer, like you thought that the whole thing with the first Doctor Strange thing was trippy and stuff like that. That's what you're going to get here in this movie as well. And I was like, that right there, it was good. I would love to see that in like one of the 4DX type of theater stuff like that, because I think that would be an awesome ride. I think that would be a really awesome ride there. Obviously, there are Easter eggs and stuff like that that's in the movie that I cannot talk about. This is my non-spoiler review. You guys are going to get that in my full spoiler review of that as well. But I enjoyed some of the Easter eggs that they showed up in there. Now I'm not going to reveal any, so that I know it's hard to avoid spoilers. We have not avoid spoilers, but I'm saying that. But right now, that is mostly part of my good. Then I'm gonna go into a little bit of things that I did not like about the movie. All right, right off the bat, here's the thing. So I know it seemed like I kind of was like very vague in my good section. Well, the bad section is because some of the characters that I wanted them, want to see more of. They weren't in there, such as when it comes to Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordor. I felt as though he was shafted mostly in this movie. Like his part is not long at all, and I'm just like, well, I didn't know if he was going to be the big bad in Doctor Strange 2 and things like that, but I was just like, I wanted to see more of him. Okay, because I liked his character in the first one, and him and Steven still got a beef, and I wanted to see more of him. And I feel as though that the way it was in this one, I kind of got like a little cheaping out of it. That's why more just more of a nitpick in my personal opinion. There were some incidences in the movie, I felt as though that, okay, we're getting a little horror movie tropish in here. I like the horror movie elements in there, but the tropes, I don't like horror movie tropes, especially when we're doing a superhero movie. Those things could have came out. I felt as though that at times, like, I understand America Chavez has these powers. She's part of the comics, and I understand she's a deep cut, but I felt as though that I don't know. I felt as though that with all the things that's supposed to be happening in Phase 4, do we really need her character to be the forefront of this story? I don't know. It's an opinion based. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm not saying it should be, but I'm just saying you'll hear more about that in my spoiler discussion. Then there was a scene in the movie where I felt as though it didn't fulfill me like I wanted it to. And I'll talk more about that in my spoiler review, but I'm saying there's just incidents where I was just like, this just did not excite me the way I wanted to excite me, and the way it went down kind of upset me on certain levels. I'm just like, okay, well, I really want to dive into this, and I understand I put my hand up. I know I'm probably going to be alone on all this, but I'm just saying, but this is just how I personally feel about the movie. And I was like, there are certain scenes in there I was just like, I personally would have done that differently. I felt as though that it should have been done differently. I'm not a director, I'm not the writer, stuff like that. I'm just a nerd that reads comics and like these kind of movies. But I'm just saying, before what I was expecting, I felt as though that it was just not it. It just wasn't for me. I was upset. I was kind of upset by it. Then it was like it's like I can't. It's hard to say stuff without saying like spoilers, but I felt as though the third act was just kind of okay. It wasn't like a big huge type fight or anything like that. I just felt as though it was okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're going from this. That's how best I can say that. But I would right now talk about the experience. All right, when it comes to the experience, I felt as me and my wife went. We caught we got there actually early. I felt as though it was going to be really packed in there. There was a good crowd in there. There is a post-credit scene afterwards where my theater, the theater I was at, gave no reaction to it whatsoever, and I barely gave any reaction to it either, because I was just like, I trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. Then when I left later, I got it, but then I was just like, okay, because originally they didn't say anything. And that's the thing with my theater. My theater was very dead for a lot of things, especially some of the Easter eggs that they shown or something like that. I was just like, is it dead, or is it, to me, or does it feel like that the promotion for this movie show way too much? That could be my personal opinion, but you can put your opinion down below. But overall, Doctor Strange, I feel as though as a Doctor Strange movie, and like kind of like how I felt with the first one, you can have a good time in there. There's a lot of great imagery. I like the Sam Raimi element to it, and that stuff was fine. But as a Marvel movie, as it's going into Phase 4 and what's going on, I felt as though it let me down on some things, and I felt as though it's not a thing where people will say, well, Marvel didn't promise this to you, Marvel didn't do anything that to you. But I'm also thinking to like, well, this is what they have been trying to build up, and it's really not being paid off in the way I thought it would be paid off. So when it comes to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to give it a hashtag, give it a chance. So that's my grade for it. You guys are post any comments down below with no spoilers, how you guys feel about it. Also, the spoiler review will be up by the time you've seen this video. It should be up the next day with my spoiler review, or you can check out the podcast version of it on the no give not no give the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. Okay, so once again, this is NC, the place to post any comments down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more movie reviews. And so try to get back into going to movies. I have not been going to the movies as much this year, or seeing movies as much this year as I should, like I was last year. All right, so post any comments down below how you guys feel about it. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more. So once again, it's NC, the place to be. Mr. A and D, and I'll see you at the movies.